We watch our diet, or at least some of us do. We watch our figure. We watch our clothing. We watch what we put on. We watch how we dress. We watch all of those things. But do we pay attention to what we put in our mind?
Right. The Voices of Victory podcast show.
Voices of Victory.
Vision.
Voices of Victory.
Leadership.
Voices of Victory.
Workplace-related topics.
The Voices of Victory.
Voices of Victory. Voices of Victory. Voices of Victory.
It's time for the show. You are now listening to the Voices of Victory podcast show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Di Leone.
Hello and welcome to the Voices of Victory podcast show. I am your host, Mario Di Leone. I want to talk to you today about something that we rarely ever think about. It's literally the flow of information that we put into our skull, the things that we put into our mind. We spend so much time worrying about what we put into our bodies, at least some of us do, but almost zero time thinking about what we actually put into our heads. And there's a big truth that your mental diet is far more important because it really does govern over your mental health. And social media has become the new horse feed bag. It's actually impacting all of us. And if you're doing it at 2 a.m., the impact will be a whole lot higher. So when you begin, let's say, to clear out old clutter in your life, the old beliefs, the old attitudes, the bits of culture, the pieces of flex culture that don't serve you anymore, you can't just stop there, because if you don't control what flows into your mind, the junk just piles up again. And you know what? It starts to impact your attention span. There is something that's really true. It's an esoteric point, but it actually holds a lot of truth. And people say you get what you focus on. And you know what? There's so much truth to that. Whether you believe that or not, there's so much truth to that. You could look at it from a standpoint as like the more your brain absorbs certain things, you eventually embody those ideas and you become that. And anything that you wrap around your identity will eventually become a part of you. So we have to think about like our beliefs, our attitudes. Think of it like this. You need a valve. Think of a valve as something that regulates, right? So a way of regulating what comes into your mental space, because not everything deserves your attention. And the reality is that most of these platforms and the media out there, they're designed to sway you, manipulate it, maybe even hijack, because everyone has stake within your attention span. So they're not out to nourish your mind. They're only out to hijack it. I mean, if you look at the average advertisement, whether it's a 30-second advertisement on YouTube or whether or not it's an advertisement on Instagram, it's designed to hijack your brain. And let's look at it this way. Let's go over a couple fun, hilarious scenarios. All right, just imagine for a moment you're scrolling TikTok at 2 a.m. Your eyes are half shut. You're watching some guy explain how lizard people secretly run the DMV. And tomorrow, you'll repeat that fact to other people like it's somehow gospel. So why don't you watch what you put into your head? Or even better, you decide to memorize the entire menu jingle at your fast food chain, but you can't remember your own passwords or your girlfriend's actual birthday or your boyfriend's birthday. So why don't you watch what you actually put into your head? Even better than that, you binge watch 10 hours of reality TV drama, and suddenly you're arguing with your coworkers about who deserved the rose in that one particular scene. And do you not realize where your mind is even going? You're not addicted to approval. You're addicted to being right about a minutia bullshit from reality television. You've got to be kidding me. Why don't you watch what you actually put into your head? Or even better than that, you spend 3 days watching videos of cats knocking stuff off counters, and now you don't even pay attention to your own cat every time your cat walks into the damn room. So why don't you watch what you actually put into your head and maybe give some attention to your cat? Because you know what? Your cat is living and what's on the screen is not. It's two-dimensional. Or you could look at it like you listen to so much clickbait news, you're so convinced that the apocalypse is happening, that life is getting worse, that America's getting worse, the country's getting worse, everybody's getting worse, everybody's bad, right? And every Tuesday at 4 p.m. is just a problem. But we rarely ask ourselves, according to whom? You know, when we see something on the internet, internet and we say, oh, well, it's true. Why? Because it's coming from so-and-so media channel. According to whom? Nowadays, it's all about according to whom. Is this right? Is this accurate? According to whom? Well, I believe this. According to whom? Because that belief didn't come from you. It came from outside of you. You adopted it. So why don't you watch what you actually put in your head? And then it comes down to FOMO. You check Instagram, you see your friends out at a party, they're having a great time. You didn't even want to go to begin with. And suddenly you feel like your whole life is meaningless because there's pictures of them having a good time and you're home in sweatpants eating cereal. So why don't you actually watch what you actually put in your head? That's the big question. Let's take a look at, let's say, flex culture. You scroll through someone else's vacation photos. You see the private jet, the luxury watch, the champagne, and now you see a rented Lamborghini. And you're questioning why you even bother showing up at 9 o'clock for your 9 to 5 job. So the big question is, why don't you watch what you actually put into your head? Do you really think that all that flex culture is good for you? So what do you do? Well, you become highly selective. You watch where you put your attention span. You choose what you allow in with care, just as if you were choosing to watch what you eat. Internet consumption is not much different than food consumption. You are what you eat, and you now become what you think all day long. That's the fun part. So over time, something does powerful happen. If something happens that's quite astounding. You're not just cleaning out the old clutter anymore. You're preventing the useless, whiny, minutia bullshit from getting in your head. Here's the big payoff. You're saving your mind. You're saving your mental health. And it takes courage. It takes discipline. It takes a willingness to question things in life. Question the things that you've always believed just because mom and dad believed in them, just because everybody else believed in them. But what you start to gain when you strip away what everybody else thinks and you start to really look at what you truly believe, you start to gain that authenticity back. And you know what? It becomes a life where you actually think for yourself, you choose for yourself, and you live out life as an individual instead of a cultural fucking echo. So the worst case scenario is if you don't take care of your mental diet, the world will do it for you and your mind will get hijacked. And when your mind gets hijacked, so does your entire fucking life. Just understand, your mind navigates the body. Your mind also navigates life. It's the GPS of your entire life. That's all I'm going to say. Have a great day. See you on the next episode.